Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Slack Snack. My name is Sean Slack. We've actually got back on the air today. Today is January 8th, 2021. I can't believe it already. It's amazing. So we're excited to bring on Kayla White, who also goes by Bama. She's going to be playing for the Las Vegas Devils of the WFLA, the Women's Football League Association that begins football play hopefully this year, maybe next year, depending on what happens out there. But we're really excited to have her. So, Kayla, it's really great to have you on. We appreciate
it. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited.
Well, it's our pleasure, and I know this is last minute. Things happen, but we really appreciate you taking the time. Now before we get into your football career and your background and so on and so forth, let's start with your original background, your personal background with your family, where you're from, so on and so forth.
Well, I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and I have one sister and one brother by my mom, and I have a lot of sisters and brothers with my dad. but I'm the baby. but so a little about me. Well, a lot about me is that my brother has autism, so that was a really big part of my life growing up. It was a simple, southern country town, but we did have Mardi Gras, which I did participate in. I was a dance girl as well as flag girl, and I was also in marching bands. Well, and I stayed active.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but damn, I'm in the home of Mardi Gras, down here in Rio.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We got the Rio Carnival going on.
Yeah, that's why I want to come. Yeah.
Right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's pretty much it was simple growing up, other than all the differences with my brother having autism. So yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, not to pry, but I'm just curious because I know there's different forms of autism in different levels. Now, is that something that you discovered at a young age, and that is something that he might grow out of to a point, or is it something more severe? What's his situation?
Well, he has severe autism. He's nonverbal. And it started at the age of 3 years old. They said one day he could snap out of it. Right now he's 23. But we're still having fun with them.
Yeah, God bless. 23. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's still rocking and rolling. If you ever been around an artistic kid.
They're going a million miles an hour, man. Let me tell you.
Yes.
I've known a lot of kids with autism. My sister has multiple sclerosis. Now that's completely different. That's from the legs down, and she'll tell you she's got nothing wrong up here. But I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe it went there too. But either way, dealing with special needs is really a special thing for everybody involved, not just for you, but every member of the family. So, and that being said, how has that kind of affected you as far as living your life, as far as what you want to do, and obviously he's a huge part of your life. So how does that transform your pathway?
Well, it's been very difficult, but it's also have been a motivator for me. Sure. A little more background on it, on me and my brother's history is that I basically was the only person that could get him to do things and not really tear down whole house. So he would most likely bunk in the room with me, and so I didn't notice how much of a different person it made me, whereas I communicate differently, I act differently, because I spent most of my time with my brother. Sure. And so I would have to watch his body language mostly and his eyes because they're sneaky. So when I turned 18 and I went to college and I lived on college campus, my mom was no longer able to keep him home. with that being said, it's always been my goal to basically go off, be successful, come back and build a place for all special needs kids, because it's a big need in Alabama for facilities for special needs kids, and it's a big need for artistic kids, like help with in that area. It's a waiting list for over 15 years for artistic kids to get help and to get into schools that are for them. So
Wow, that's amazing. I mean,
yeah.
hats off to you. That's a
Thank
amazing
you.
story, and I wish you the best with that. And I hope, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as you get into your sports career. But being a Mobile, I lived actually in Decatur for a while, and actually, our guys from Digital Emotion AV who produced this show are actually in Birmingham. So we got the big Bama connection going on. So
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide on Monday. That I hope they do. UCF is my baby. That's my team. But I'm tired of hearing about Ohio State. So it'll be good to see. Now, off the field, again, your life is like a Netflix movie. I mean, you've had so many accomplishments. You give your time and energy to so many different areas, and you kind of touched upon your work with children. Why do you feel that is so important for you? Not just because, obviously, the situation personally with your family and stuff, but just in general.
All kids need encouragement, and with what I do when I go inside of the schools and work with the kids, I'm not just their coach. I'm not just an athletic director. I'm their friend. I am their mother. I am their, everything. Because I actually get deep down to the core of the children that I work with, and I try to find out what are their specific needs, because that's really important for me to have a successful class, is to individually learn each kid. And so I noticed doing those things, doing that throughout the classes, that a lot of kids have things that they're going through that as adults we don't realize that they understand, or they're taking with them to school. And I actually work with preschool, so I've had 2-year-olds come tell me about a car wreck, or tell me about coming from Hawaii, or and so when I realized that, hey, they want to be heard too, so I made sure that I implemented that inside of my programs, because I found out a lot of parents are doctors, so they have to stay away, or they're in the Navy or military, or somewhere where they're deployed. So when the children do get to see me once a week, they're excited to tell me what they had going on with their lives, and they're excited to learn whatever we're doing that day physically. And a lot of what I teach adults and children is that your physical health comes from your mental health, and I always start out by making sure my mental wellness is okay before everything else. So yeah, so that's what I really try to focus on, even though I teach them to have nutrition and be physically fit. I make sure I take care of their minds, and let them know that they're noticed, and they can do it, and they have courage.
Yeah, no, that's a trip. I mean, 2 years old, walking and be like, hey, Bama, Darlene the other day, I was at my job. No, I'm just playing. I mean, but I mean, for real, you never would think. My son just turned 3 years old, and they surprise you all the time, and he's become like a parrot, and they repeat everything, and sometimes it's stuff that you don't want them repeating, but it's hilarious when they do. My wife gets mad at me when I laugh at it, because I think it's funny. He dropped something the other day, and he's like, "Oh shit!" That was out of nowhere, and I was like, "Yes, that's awesome," but no, it's not. So, But
That's their favorite word sometimes. So
yeah, it's hilarious. But wow,
yeah.
that was so cool. Now, this show always tries to kind of steer clear of politics, but sometimes, like in the case of, I'm sure you've seen, I was really active with, the BLM movement, the Breonna Taylor situation. I think I posted something every single day, and sometimes you just can't avoid it. You got to be involved in it. And yesterday there was the event, I guess that's what you're going to call it, where people from the Trump campaign or other factions went into the Capitol building, and at least one person was killed. We don't know how many others, but I don't think you can call it a protest. So I'm just using the word event. But
Yeah.
as a Black woman, what was your reaction and kind of that of those around you, with family and friends? What was that like?
Well, I feel like I had multiple reactions on different like fields, basically, just like as a Black woman, as an American citizen, and as just a person, a human being. And
Wow.
so, one thought I had, basically as a Black woman, as I would say, is, man, how can they, step on the line of the Capitol without getting shot or stopped or warned or anything, and they're able to go inside of the buildings and
Right.
and destroy things. And from what I was taught, especially on an important day, do not show up and just try to get access to government buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to see that it was lightly handled in my perspective, um and that really hurt me deep down to like my core, because I know if they were different colors, if it was any other colors or nationalities, especially my race, that it would have been more deaths. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and also just as a citizen, I was appalled. Like, I also was raised in Alabama, where they teach you to be proud to be American every day. So
Sure.
with that being said, I'm looking like, wow, I was surprised, because I was hurt to see our capital being treated that way and disrespected. And not only that, all of those people that, no matter what side I am on, all of those governor, senators, they were in danger, and they had been to school for years to become that, and also to, lead our nation. So, and then my just being a human being, I was like, wow, all, why are they acting barbaric,
Yeah.
basically?
It's interesting that you mentioned that. As far, I live in Brazil now, and obviously the world news, gets around, and the United States is a big deal. And, you see that, and I got people asking about me about it. And I'm like, well, I haven't been back in like 5 years. I've been living here for a while. And it's like, I don't want to go back right now, to be honest with you. I mean, it's, I'm married to a Black woman. My son is, mixed. He's
Mhm.
got them both. He definitely has a white guy's booty, because he doesn't have any booty. But
Mine do.
I just watched, what's going, and that was the next question to follow up real quick, because there is a lot of talk about the conspiracy behind it. Because look, there's a lot of videos, a lot of pictures coming out where the cops basically just said, hey, come on in.
Come on.
And then there's
Yeah.
also a lot of photos showing that these people that were in it were also part of the Black Lives Matter movement, and were also part of other things. So does that in any way affect your judgment or your attitude towards it, thinking that, okay, maybe there's somebody else pulling the strings here? Because it really does have the fishy connotation to it. I'm with you 100%. Look, it's regardless, it's complete BS the way it's down. But come on, the Capitol building has snipers all over the place.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I've been there as a kid, going on, where we had to like do things 30 days in advance just to get
Right.
near it. So just to be able, it's really interesting, not interesting, but it's really fishy, in my opinion, to see, is there something else going on here? Because it really just doesn't look right.
Well, it's you. No one really can say because I feel like a lot of things are above our head, like they hide it. A lot
Yeah,
of things that go on, it could have been just a diversion for something else that just got passed or happened or something we didn't pay attention to,
good point.
or
Yeah,
maybe and really just okay, just as a black woman, I'm always in areas where I am always like mostly the only minority, and so I feel the tension in the air. And so with that being said, it's not hard for me to believe that it wasn't a conspiracy, that it was just you know
yeah,
supporters, because I've actually went through uh issues with you know with people showing me racism, or so
sure.
I can believe it. I can believe it. I've had a gun to my head before for
Wow.
being married to a white man. With that being said, I can believe that it was true, that it wasn't any like
Conspiracy.
anyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
No, and I'm not trying to
I just
lighten
can't
the
even believe
point.
we're using those words. I'm sorry. I just
No, no, yeah, I feel you 100%. And I
yeah.
don't even like to lighten the point saying that. It's just, it's amazing to me because I'm from Orlando. I'm born and raised there. I was there during the whole Trayvon Martin ordeal. That was, 15 minutes from my home. I've tried many times to get Sabrina Fulton, his mother, on the show because that actually started the entire Black Lives Matter movement.
Hmm.
Um, and I've seen it firsthand, and that was the last time I was there. And it really is, it's really a tragedy to see how things have become because it's so divided. And I can only hope. I don't think the president now is going to fix anything in that respect. I think the
Hmm.
people are the ones that are going to have to step up and realize that, look, we're all going to end up in a box, and in that box, there's no color, there's no sex, there's no whatever. I mean, you're just going to end up in a box. So, get over it. I mean, enough is enough. So, um,
Yeah.
just
I'm horrified. I'm really horrified. I really I have no words to say. I
yeah,
just I never seen that amount of just I feel like it's hate. Just growing up, that where I've grown up and what I've seen and what I've been through, and just some of those symbols, that they had carrying around through the Capitol. It has a deep meaning to me.
sure.
Um, so it really it's a feeling in your chest that I can't even explain.
No, and the only thing I can say is I can sympathize from the standpoint is I've experienced it some,
Yeah.
being with the family that I have, because
Yeah.
you see the looks, you see the questions with your kid or with, because you were married, you said to a white guy. So,
Yes.
um, it's like even the unspoken, uh, the communication is just like, oh my gosh, really? I mean,
Yes.
it's 2021, man. I
Right.
mean, so anyway, moving forward because that's just a depressing topic. That
Yeah.
going forward, the struggle continues as well for women in general, just in the sports world. But thanks to the WFLA and some other leagues, and now with some forward-thinking coaches in the NFL, some positive things are actually happening. And tomorrow, for the first time, 6 female coaches will be walking the sidelines during the NFL playoffs. What does that mean to you, not only as a player, but also as a woman?
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I'm so excited for all of them and women and just everyone for being a part of this moment tomorrow. And um it's it's just it's amazing for me because as you know, football has not been offered to women. Um and especially where I am from, Alabama, we don't have a women's football league until until the WFLA showed up. And with that being said, going to schools in is low poverty areas, they didn't offer many sports to women other than volleyball maybe or basketball. And so I've always wanted to play tennis. I played football in the backyard of my cousins growing up. So it's amazing to see women have this opportunity and to achieve these things, going out on the field and coaching for the NFL tomorrow. I mean, because I wasn't even offered a chance until I was 26 to play football. And then now I'm 29 and I'm just now getting a chance to get paid for football, so to play. So yeah.
That's all. That's a perfect segue, because we were just going to get into that. So now you got picked to play. You're going to be playing for the Las Vegas Devils in the new WFLA. How is the preparation going individually for you, and what are you excited about the most for year one?
I'm excited just to show what I have on the field, to show my athleticism, and just to get out there and grind and show what women have to offer. Me personally, I work out every day.
Yeah, I see that. You got like what, 0 body fat? My God, man. You've got like 10 abs, and I've got like one somewhere hiding in here, man. I don't know where it is, but it's in there.
Yeah, but since I've got signed, I mean, it just really just motivated me more. Now I'm doing 2-a-days, and so my training is intense for me, because I rather break on my own than break on the field. So with that being said, sure. I'm ready.
Yeah, I hear you. In that, now that you're a professional American football player, and emotionally, when you say that to yourself, what do you think of? What does that mean to you when you think of your brother? You think of your family and the kids that you work with. Describe those feelings, especially on your first day when you walk on the sidelines suited up to play your first game.
Well, it's just going to be a proud moment for me. I was always taught that I could do anything I put my mind to.
Sure.
And coming from the areas I'm from Mobile, Alabama, but I most of my family's from a place called Pritchard, Alabama. We have a lot of.
I know Pritchard, man. You're talking Decatur. That's a serious twang down there, man.
You already know. So any glimmer of light would be amazing, and I just want to be that beacon to show everyone that it is possible. You could do anything you put your mind to. So that's awesome. You know where I'm from, and where I'm from is not many people make it. So I'm trying to be that person.
I feel you. No, you're well on your way, man. And just a few more questions, and we'll get you out of here. Who do you look? I guess first of all, what position do you play, and what if anybody do you look up to in the NFL?
Well, I play DB. I play strong safety. Okay. I also have played a little wide receiver and fullback, and running back. But my favorite position is strong safety, and I like corner when I get to shoot the gaps.
Yeah, I like it.
But a lot of men ask me who's my favorite football player, and truthfully, I started playing in 2016, and so my knowledge isn't as extensive. And the first person to come to my mind is Dominique Malloy. And she's awesome. And I just thought it would be only right to have a favorite, football player that's a woman.
Yeah, that's true.
I look up to Dom. She's amazing. She always gives thanks to God, and she always put him first. And she helped me through a lot of hard times when I was a rookie. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Well, speaking of tomorrow. You know, we're going into the playoffs. So normally we do the rapid fire section, but we are gonna get your picks for the games this week, and you're gonna watch some football this weekend, aren't you? Come
Oh
on.
yeah, okay.
All right, so we got Bills and Colts,
Oh, Colts,
Seahawks and Rams,
Seahawks,
Washington and Bucks.
Washington.
What? Wait a minute. Hello. We got a bad connection here. Did you really say Washington? Come on, man. All right. Ravens and Titans.
Ravens.
Yeah. And Saints versus Bears.
Oh, Saints.
And Steelers versus the Browns.
Browns.
Okay. We got you on record, man. So, hey, hey, listen, I definitely would love to chat with you again as we get closer to the kickoff of your season. Your story is amazing, and I appreciate you taking the time to share it with us. Best of luck to you in the future, and especially with your family and your brother, man. What's your brother's name?
Marcus Jr.
Marcus Jr. Give a good shout out to him, man. That's such a great story, and I love hearing those kind of stories. And wish nothing but the best for him.
Thank you.
We'll definitely stay in touch and talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.